Go, Knights, go! Go, Knights, go! Go, Knights, go! Go, Knights, go! Welcome to Knights This Week. How are you Knight fans doing out there this week? This is your host and super fan, Jason Banks, coming at you. Welcome to another week of Knights This Week. So we got a busy Knights this week. We got 4 games to cap up in this Knights this week, including an incredible hockey game last Saturday. Just amazing, unbelievable, but we'll get to that in Knights this week. But let's get to Knights this week, and welcome to Knights this week. So, welcome to the show. Just let me move my computer back again. Let me get set up for the show here. Alright, I think we're good to go. Welcome to Knights This Week. This week the Knights had 4 games that we got to cap up. They had a very busy week. Starting out with a week ago Friday. They played Friday, they played Saturday, they played Sunday, and they played this past Wednesday as well. So that's a lot of hockey games. They played, 4 hockey games in 7 nights. So that's a lot of hockey games. So let's get to it, shall we? But first, as I always like to do at the beginning of the show, a few updates to give to you. And unfortunately, they're not good updates, but at least they're not long-term. That is the good part about this. Last weekend, the Knights had to deal with, again, a shorthanded lineup, and I'm going to get to how shorthanded this lineup was in just a few minutes. But one of the Knights' regular players that play a very good game, he chips in with goals, and he's a very good, strong forechecker, and he makes a great part of a checking line. Adrian Carbonera got injured at some point in a game. And again, just like the Knights always do with injuries, not telling us much about it other than that it's apparently an upper body injury. Rumor is shoulder injury. He did something to his shoulder. I don't know what he did. But anyway, Adrian Carbonera got put on the shelf in this Knights this week. So the Knights had to deal with that. And of course, Max Jones has been put on the shelf again. But good news on Max Jones, as I sit here right now, Max Jones is playing again, so the injury is not a hampering injury, so that's good. Victor Mete, of course, still out with that injury that he suffered, about 3 weeks ago now. Victor Mete has got to have a concussion. There's no other explanation for his injury being out 3 weeks. I know that he had to have a few stitches in his ear from the puck, but come on. It doesn't take 3 weeks to recover from stitches in your ear. So I think the man is suffering from a concussion, and let's just hope that we're going to see him back out on the ice in the not too distant future. So those are our injury updates to give to you. Now let's get to the games this week, shall we? Here on Knights This Week. And of course, here I have my Knights mug again, drinking it as part of my show. So, let's get to the first game of the week. Last Friday night, just not another Friday night at the Budweiser Gardens, but a very, very, very big tilt at Budweiser Gardens between the London Knights and the Erie Otters. Now, these two teams are almost neck to neck with each other in their division for not only the division lead, but the overall lead as well. So, a very big game at Budweiser Gardens. And the London Knights had to tangle with the Erie Otters. First place on the line in this game. And the Knights come into this game with some rather tough news. Of course, Victor Mete out. Injured, of course, and Max Jones out injured as well, as I alluded to. But not only that, but Cliff Pugh was not able to play in this game. terrible, terrible flu bug just rampaging through the Knights dressing room. Cliff Pooh out with the flu. Pooh with the flu. Ha ha. Get it? That's funny. It's a rhyme. But no, Cliff Pooh seriously did have the flu. And Sam Miletich, another good player for the Knights, another guy who scores a lot of goals, also out of the lineup, again with the flu. So 4 guys out of the lineup and a rather important tilt with the Erie Otters. Not a good way to start of such a big game, obviously. And let me just get something queued up here for you. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Yes, let's get ready to rumble. Are you ready for the big event? It was a big event last Friday. The Erie Otters in town. First place on the line. So let's get to this game, shall we? See what happens in this game with the Knights out 4 regular players in this game against a very, very talented, skilled Erie Otters team who continues to duplicate almost a Knights motto. They put out contender teams year after year after year, it seems now. The Erie Otters used to be the bottom feeders, not anymore. So let's get to this one, shall we? See what happens in this game. And this game starts rather promising for the London Knights, as the London Knights would get out to a good start in this game because they got the first 2 goals in this game. And when you're playing such a big game, that's usually a good start. To get off to the lead on such an important game, and they did exactly that. Owen McDonald got his 11th goal of the season, 9:53 into the first. JJ Pickenich, Ole Jalevi assisting on the goals, 9:53 in, 1-0 for your London Knights. And then the London Knights would add to it before the end of the first at 13:27. Young rookie Liam Foudy, who is he keeps getting better and better, folks, and this guy is going to be a pleasure to watch. He'll be back with the Knights next year, and he'll have a more bigger role to take on, obviously. Liam Foudy with his 5th goal of the season, assisted from Dante Salaturo and Alex Formitton at 13:27 to make it 2-0 Knights. Great start for the Knights, right? How much more of a start can you want than that? But let's not jump ahead of ourselves, because before the end of the first, Erie got one of those goals back. One of their new pickups, Warren Fogle, got his 16th goal of the season on the power play at 16:36 to make it 2-1. And that was your score at the end of one period of play. The London Knights 2, the Erie Otters 1 here at Budweiser Gardens. The shots on goal were 16-9 in that first period for the Erie Otters. So the shots did favor the Erie Otters in that first, but it was 2-1 at the end of one period of play. Go on to the second. Not very long into the second, only took 58 seconds. Kyle Maskamoch from Erie Otters got his 14th goal of the season. Dylan Strome picked up an assist on that, as did Taylor Radish. Made it 2-2. Then at the second period mark, Erie Otters get an early goal, and then they get a late goal. Late in the second at 18:46, TJ Fergus got only his 2nd goal of the season at the 18:46 mark to make it a 3-2 Erie Otter game at the end of 2 periods of play. And again, the shots were heavily in favor of the Erie Otters in the second period, as the Erie Otters would end up getting 16 shots in the second period as well. The Knights only got 6. So Knights getting almost outshot by a 2-to-1 ratio after 2, but they're only trailing by a goal. That's pretty good in a game such as this matter. Let's go on to the third period, folks. The third period. Let's go. And the third period, the London Knights would tie it. Yeah. Owen McDonald got his 12th goal of the season, his second of the game from Brandon Crawley at 4:34, and the London Knights would tie it at 3. And it sure looked like this game was going to go to overtime, but alas it did not. It went late into the third, 3-3 still, and that is until Dylan Strome. Mr. Dylan Strome picked it up, and at 19:20 with just 40 seconds left in the game, he scored his 9th goal of the season from Kyle Maskovich to make it 4-3. And the Knights would pull their goalie. They would try to tie it, but they gave up another one on an empty net goal at 19:59. Only 1 second left in the game, but Darren Radish got it. Your final score in this game was 5-3 in favor of the Erie Otters. So with the result of this game, the Erie Otters would go ahead of the Knights by a couple points in the standings for first place, and the Knights were left wondering what could have happened. They're left wondering, what if we had just held on for 40 more seconds, got it to overtime? We could have got a point out of it, but they didn't. But nevertheless, the Erie Otters deserved to win this game. If you take a look at the shots in this game, the Erie Otters outshot the Knights by a final count of 46-21. So, badly outplayed and outshot in this game did the London Knights play. But they only lost by a goal, more or less. The empty net goal doesn't count. So, the Erie Otters would take this latest edition of the Erie-London battle by a score of 5-3. But the good news for the Knights is there's still 3 more games left in this season against these guys, so the Knights still could control their own destiny at the end of it if they win those games. Let's get to the 3 stars in this game, shall we? 3rd star goes to the Erie Otters. The Erie Otters win the game, but they only got 1 star. Warren Fogle got the star for Erie. He got the 1st goal of the game for the Erie Otters, and he gets the 3rd star. 2nd star of the game, Owen McDonald. He had a great game. The veteran overager had a fantastic game as Owen McDonald got 2 goals in the game. Singularly tried to make the Knights win this game, but it wasn't enough. And the 1st star, all-star goalie Tyler Parsons. An outstanding game for him. This young goaltender worked his butt off in this game, kept the Knights in this game all night long. When you're outshot by the ratio they were, you're rather fortunate to be in this game with 40 seconds left in the third, and that was because of Mr. Tyler Parsons, who we know is an all-star goalie, who we know is more than capable of carrying this team to another Memorial Cup. Tyler Parsons, the 1st star of the game. So well done, Tyler Parsons. But the Knights lose this game 5-3. So the Knights did not get their weekend off to a good start. And the weekend was only getting tougher from here on in because the London Knights would go into an afternoon game. It was supposed to be an evening game, but they changed it for Sportnet purposes. Now it became a 3:30 afternoon game in Owen Sound, where they were playing a team that had won 15 straight games. Okay? And then Sunday, they finish out in Oshawa, who is leading the Eastern Conference. So, this didn't look like it would be a good weekend for the London Knights. Could have looked, I think, on paper, it looked like it was going to be a disastrous weekend for the London Knights, considering how it started. And let's go to the next game, shall we? Let's go to the Owen Sound game on the Saturday afternoon. It was a Sportsnet nationally televised game. And they were playing a team that had won 15 straight games. And then you go into the game. Okay, we talked about the omissions out of their lineup Friday night, which was substantial enough as it was. Okay? Add these players on now for Saturday, okay? So Jones, Pooh, Miletich, Mete, all out of the lineup again, like they were Friday night. Plus, Adrian Carbonera suffered that injury, so he's out of the lineup. Plus, 2 very good, strong rookies out of the lineup because of the top prospects game that was being held in Quebec City on Monday. They could not play, and that's Alex Formenton, and Robert Thomas. So those guys out of the lineup. And then the Knights decided to do something that was rather crazy at the time, I thought. They did not bring Tyler Parsons to Owen Sound with them. He wasn't even on the bus. He stayed at home. And they decided to go with Tyler Johnson in net to start this game against a team that had won 15 straight. So, Jones, Pooh, Miletich, Mete, Vermitten, Thomas, Carbonera, Parsons, all out of the lineup against this rather important game in Owen Sound. Not very good. Not very good at all. Let's go to this game, shall we? And the game is actually a remarkable game in the end, but it doesn't start out that way. So the London Knights starting Tyler Johnson in net. Tyler Johnson has played great. He played great when this season started. He played absolutely spectacular, especially when Tyler Parsons was out with the injury. But ever since he got hurt, Johnson, he's come back. I don't know what's been with him, but he has not been very good. He has just not been on top of his game. But he gets the nod in this one. And backing him up was young 16-year-old goaltender Jordan Coy. Tyler Parsons stays at home. So let's go see how this one turns out, shall we? And it's not pretty. I'm just going to say, let's try to go over this quickly. The London Knights get behind in the first period 3-0 right off the bat. First period, 3:15 in, Owen Sound scores a goal already. Kevin Hancock got the goal for the Owen Sound attack. Then, at 11:07, Petrus Palmu, who's a very good player as well. I mean, the Owen Sound attack have a lot of good players in their team, and they are not to be taken lightly. They're doing something right for a reason. Petrus Palmu got the second goal at 11:07, his 28th goal of the season, made it 2-0. Then at 14:22, Petrus Palmu scored again. 29th goal of the season, 3-0 Owen Sound already. Now the good news for the Knights is they were able to salvage something out of that first period because Mitchell Stevens had his coming out party in this one. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. But he got his first goal of the game, 13th of the season. Ole Jalevi and Mitchell Vandosopo assisted on the power play at 18:02 of the first to make it a 3-1 game going into the intermission. The shots on goal are not going to read pretty in this game, folks. Let's go over the shots on goal in this game, and it was not pretty at all. First period, the shots were, let's see, 13-3 in favor of Owen Sound, okay? So a bad period for the London Knights. Of course, missing 8 regulars out of their lineup as well. So, what would you expect in this game? I don't know. Let's go to the second. In the second period, Owen Sound continued to come in waves. Jonan Gadjevich got his 26th goal of the season on the power play at the 1:21 mark, 4-1 Owen Sound. Jonah Gadjevich again got another goal, 27th of the season, again on the power play at 7:38, 5-1 Owen Sound. Do you get this, folks? 5-1 Owen Sound in the second. I have to admit, I was watching this game, and at this point, I thought, this game's a wash. Like, there's no way the London Knights are going to win this game. There's no way the London Knights are going to get 2 points out of this game. And to be honest, I thought I was going to be witnessing a 9-1, 9-2 kind of game for Owen Sound. That is how bad the Knights were playing. So after his 5-1, the Knights pulled their goalie, finally got rid of Tyler Johnson and put in Jordan Coy. And Jordan Coy and the goaltender change, I think, served as some kind of catalyst. Let me put it that way. Owen McDonald got the Knights a goal at the 8:17 mark. Another goal for Owen McDonald. He's having a fantastic weekend on this weekend. His 13th of the season from Richard Whittaker at 8:17 made it 5-2. Okay, or 5-2. Then in the second period, again, 13:40-38. 13:48, Mitchell Stevens got his second goal of the game, 14th of the season from J.J. Pikkanich and Jauni Kaukonen. 5-3. Okay. We're getting back into this a bit. Then Ethan Sipsala kind of took all the tide out of that water at 19-17 at the second. He got his 8th of the season. Kind of thought, oh, I'm just getting back into it. And all of a sudden, Owen Sound jumps ahead again by 3 goals. Their second 3-goal game lead of the game. They led 3-0. Now they lead 6-3. They led 5-1. 19-17 was that goal. Okay. Let's go to the third period, okay? The best period here in this hockey game. Let's keep a tab at the shots on goal, okay? After second period, the shots heavily favored Owen Sound again, 19-11. So only 14 shots on net through 2 periods of play for your London Knights in this one. 6-3 at the end of 2. That's cue the comeback! Cue the comeback! Holy cow, did I say cue the comeback? Let's get to this one, shall we? Let's go to the third period. And let's go to the audio on this one, folks. I'm going to go to the audio on this one and let you see what it sounds like. Okay, so here we go.
But Owen Sound couldn't get it out. And London works it around on the power play. Salatura, low shot, he scores! He's going head-to-head.
Okay, so there you go in the third period. The Knights on the power play. And just as you heard, new pickup Dante Salaturo gets the Knights a goal. His 5th goal of the season at 5:10. Oli Jalevi, Mitchell Stevens assisting. All of a sudden, it's 6-4. All right, 6-4. What happens next?
And it's fast pace. Bouchard in over the line. Drops it off for Mitchell Stevens. Stevens to Tampa Bay. Pick right to the net. Lifts it and scores. Scrummed with Hancock.
Mitchell Stevens scores! Holy Makaloff! His 15th goal of the season. A hat trick now from Mr. Mitchell Stevens. And not only that, but he's got an assist on the previous goal. So he's got 2 assists as well already. Well, no, he's got 1 at this point. Mitchell Stevens, though, from Evan Bouchard and Mitchell Vandersopo, just a minute over their last goal. So just a minute over the last time they scored a goal. Dante Salaturos is 6-5 Owen Sound now. Holy cow, 6-5. What the heck is going on here? Let's go back to the audio. What happens now? Well, let's find out.
Hunt comes over to Stevens. He gets it down to Salatoro to the front of the net. Now Stevens, another crack at it. He scores. The Knights score. They tied it. Pikkanich gets it. Yannick Wilkin.
The Knights tie it! Holy cow! 16:51 in the third period. J.J. Pikkanich, the captain, got his 19th of the season from Mitchell Stevens and Dante Salaturo. So Mitchell Stevens has a hat trick and 2 assists in this game, folks. Yeah! Mitchell Stevens. Wow. And for that, we do this. Yeah, well done, Mitchell Stevens. Great. Well done, Mr. Stevens. So the London Knights have tied this hockey game at 6. And who would have ever thought this? Yes. We don't need to hear the clapping again, okay? Yes, they tied at 6 when it looked like they were dead in the water in this one. J.J. Pikkanich ties it. So it goes to overtime. The London Knights actually had great chances in overtime. They outshot the attack 6-3. And Mitchell Vandersopo got robbed on 1 shot. Like, he almost won it. You have Michael McNiven in net for the Owen Sound attack, who gives up 6 goals. Never saw that coming whatsoever. Goes to a shootout. Okay. Do we know how good the Knights are in a shootout this year? They're 0-4 in shootouts. Thought, okay, it's nice that they battled back, got the point, but I think the party's over. Let's go to the shootout and see what happens here, folks. Here's the shootout.
For London. Kokanen scores. Streak on the line. Maxim Sushko has to score. Sushko comes in and he scores. He'll try to put the Knights ahead again. Stevens, quick move, scores. Outstanding move. That faked everybody in the building out.
And the London Knights in a shootout got 2 goals, including the winner from Mitchell Stevens. So Mitchell Stevens gets 3 goals, 2 assists, and the shootout winner in this game. Your London Knights make one of the biggest comebacks they've ever made. Come back from a 5-1 deficit to beat the Owen Sound Attack 7-6 in a shootout to end their 15-game winning streak. Holy cow. That is unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable that the London Knights would be able to do that. So, you know what? Yeah. Wow. And this. Bam. Yeah. Your London Knights defeat the Owen Sound Attack 7-6, down 8 regulars out of their lineup, down 5-1 in the hockey game, 0-4 in the shootout all season long. They find a way to do it. Could be a TSN turning point of the season, I believe. It really could be because, especially what's happened since that game. But London Knights end a big winning streak. They get 2 valuable points. And the London Knights, wow, what a comeback. I don't think I've seen a comeback like that so shorthanded by the Knights. So the London Knights win this game 7-6. Okay, let's finish out this weekend, shall we, quickly, because I don't want to prolong time too long. And actually, let's do this. Let's do this because that was so darn awesome. Let's do this.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
That was awesome. Yes, it was. Okay, so let's go to the Sunday game now where the London Knights go into Oshawa to play the Oshawa Generals. Let's find out what happens in this game, shall we? Give me a second here. Bear with me, folks. Yeah, so the London Knights now are 1-1 here in Knights this week. And let's just get to the next game, shall we? As I try to bring it up. I'm sorry. I need a better system. But anyway, I'm trying to bring all this stuff up here. So, yeah. Let us go to the Sunday afternoon game where they were taking on the top-seeded, at the time, top-placed team in the Eastern Conference, the Oshawa Generals. And the London Knights would get some good news, first of all, going into this game, because the London Knights would get a couple players back in the lineup. They finally got Cliff Pooh back in the lineup, and Sam Miletich played in this game as well. They were well enough to go from the flu. So let's go to this game, where the London Knights actually play a great game. They actually played a nice, tidy game, and won the game 4-0. 4-0 in favor of your London Knights. Let's see how this one turned out. Let's see how it unfolds. Tyler Parsons back in net for the London Knights in this one, and he got the full game shutout. All London Knight goals, of course. Let's get to them. Yanni Kalkinen got his 19th goal of the season from Alex Turco and Owen McDonald in the first period. Then Mitchell Stevens, Mitchell Stevens having an outstanding weekend on this year. Is he happy to be a London Knight? Is he fitting in? I think he is. Mitchell Stevens got his 16th from J.J. Piknich and Ole Jalevi. And actually, the Knights got 3 goals in the third period in this one. So it was a tight game into the third when the Knights got 3 goals. Mitchell Stevens was one of them. Evan Bouchard got his 6th goal of the season from Cliff Pooh and Max Jones at 9-11 of the third. And then Mitchell Stevens again. Mitchell Stevens gets his 17th goal of the season from J.J. Pickenidge in the third to wrap it up 4-0 in favor of your Knights against the Owen Sound. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Against the Oshawa Generals in Oshawa. So, 4 goals for the Knights, nothing for Oshawa. Knights win 4-0. Your 3 stars to this game, Mitchell Stevens was a star all weekend long. He gets like 5 goals on the weekend in 2 games, and he also gets a shootout winner as well. So Mitchell Stevens, an absolutely outstanding weekend. 3rd star of the game was Mason Kahn for Oshawa. He played a good game. I don't know why you give a star to a team that didn't score a goal or nothing. But anyway, Mason Kahn for Oshawa. Mitchell Stevens, 2nd star of the game, of course. You got to go with him. And for the 2nd time in 3 games, the 1st star of the game, Tyler Parsons of your London Knights gets the 1st star. He gets a shutout. 4-0 your final as the London Knights wrap up their weekend in Oshawa. Now, let us go to the last game that we're going to go to, and that is this past Wednesday night's game as the London Knights would tango with the Kitchener Rangers at Budweiser Gardens. Oh, I'm running out of breath because there's so much that happens in the Knights this week. All right, so let's get to the Kitchener game. All I'm going to say about the Kitchener game, it was an outstanding game for Knights defensemen. So, let's get to this game, shall we? Here we go. So, the London Knights taking on the Kitchener Rangers at Budweiser Gardens. And Tyler Parsons in net again for the London Knights. And let's see how this game turns out. And you got to keep in mind, okay? Let's just keep this in mind. Ever since the big comeback in Owen Sound, the Knights, they get a shutout in Oshawa, number 1. And then they come into this game against the Kitchener Rangers and they win 6-1. So, ever since that crazy game in Owen Sound, the London Knights play 2 games, get 10 goals, give up 1. That's why I said that game's going to be the turning point of the season, folks. You watch. But anyway, the London Knights, I'm going to quickly tell you who got the goals in this one. Let's not go over everything. And why was it such a great night for defensemen? Let me tell you. Nicholas Mattinen got his first goal of the season. As he, on the blue line, he gets a goal in this game. Evan Bouchard gets his 7th. And that Evan Bouchard goal was a thing of beauty. He looked like Bobby Orr on the goal he scored. He went around one guy, came around, run around another guy, then turned around and shot it into the net. Unbelievable goal. Evan Bouchard, his 7th of the season. Liam Foudy, the rookie, gets another goal. He's got his 6th goal of the season. Max Jones got on the scoreboard, his 14th. Dante Salaturo got his 6th. And Sam Miletich got his 26th goal of the season. So London Knights win this game 6-1 over the Kitchener Rangers. Mitchell van der Sopel also had a great game. He got 2 assists in the game too. So a goal from Bouchard, a goal from Mattinen, 2 assists from van der Sopel. Great game from the defense from the London Knights. But also another great game for Mitchell Stevens. Mitchell Stevens got an assist tonight. So the 3 stars of this game, let's get to them quickly. The 3 stars of this game, Sam Miletich got the winning goal. Welcome back, Sam, to the lineup. Mitchell van der Sopel got 2 assists, and Evan Bouchard got the goal and an assist and played a great game on the blue line. 6-1, London Knights over the Kitchener Rangers to wrap up Knights this week. So the Knights started out bad against Erie, but then picked up 3 big wins. Let's get to the standings, shall we, quickly? First of all, I want to say this. Looks like the Knights are finding some lines that works. So stick with it, Hunter, because you got lines that are clicking now. They got a Stevens, Pickenidge, Saratiro line. that is getting some great instant chemistry with each other. So that is a good line, and I would keep that line together. Pooh, Jones, Kalkanen is together, and I think that would be a good line too, and I say keep that line together. Your third line is composed of Owen McDonald, Sam Miletich, Adrian Carbonera. Then your fourth line, which I like to call the kid line, Thomas, Vermitten, and Foudy were playing together on that line. But you can rotate a guy in and out of that last spot if you wish. You could sit Liam Foudy sometimes if you want. But those are great lines, and I think they got to keep those guys together. So we'll see what happens. Here's the updated standings for you folks. Okay, the London Knights now have a record of 33 wins, 8 losses, 3 overtime losses, 4 shootout losses for 73 points. They are tied with the Erie Otters, who also have 73 points. But the Erie Otters also are in first place, technically, because they got 2 more wins than the London Knights. Does this sound like last year? Yes. Erie got first place because they had the 1 more win in the standings. So both with 73 points, but Erie with a couple more wins. London Knights they're both 2 points ahead of the Sioux Greyhounds, and the London Knights have a game in hand on the Sioux Greyhounds. Sioux Greyhounds have 71. Windsor has 69. Again, the Knights have a game in hand on them, and Owen Sound back at 66. And the Owen Sound Attack, still a pretty good team, but they now have 66, a little bit of a cushion between them and the Knights. In the CHL top rankings, the London Knights are not second anymore. They dropped down a spot to third. And that's because of the loss to the Erie Otters. The Erie Otters beat the London Knights on Friday night, and I think the scouts looked at that and placed the Erie Otters above the London Knights now. So the Erie Otters now second, the Knights are third. Nothing changes on top. The Regina Pats out west still ranked number 1 in the country. So that's how your CHL top rankings are. Something significant though, the Windsor Spitfires are no longer in the CHL top 10. Windsor Spitfires hosting the Memorial Cup this year. Isn't that interesting? And I think the Windsor Spitfires are actually going in through the back door, but we'll see what happens. So there's your updated standings, okay? So, like I do on every Knights this week, as I get to the end of a very busy Knights this week, I want to bring you the Knights Dance. So, let us do the London Knights Dance as we end out Knights this week. And I hope that you've enjoyed the games this week. We had a heck of a game on Saturday. Unbelievable comeback by the London Knights. And actually, since then, they have been rolling. So, we'll see what kind of roll they go on now. But here we go, the London Knights. And this is in honor also of Mitchell Stevens, who got the hat trick on the weekend as well. So we should include him in on this. But the London Knights.
This month on Channel
Sorry.
100, it's award season, and Roger
I gotta skip over all this.
Cue the music. We can give you.
There we go. Alright, here we go. The London Knights Dance to end Knights this week. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope that you'll come back and watch the videos next week. Go Knights, go! Thank you for watching Knights this week. Take care, and we'll see you Knight fans next week here on Knights This Week.